Hey guys, it's StingKnight. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys 5 or more life-changing mods/plugins that you really need to try in FF14. So let's jump right in. Number 1 on the list would be Price Insight. This plugin essentially allows you to see the price of an item by simply hovering over it. Basically retrieves the information from universalist.app, goes straight into your game using this plugin when you hover over an item, and at the bottom you will see the price of every item that is being sold at the Marketboard at the moment or has been recently sold. This is extremely useful because you no longer need to head over to the universalist.app website, manually type in each and every single item that you're looking the price for. Instead, all you gotta do is hover over your item, and now you can tell how much they cost. And you can refresh it by pressing Alt, and it will save you a ton of time. Not only this, you will notice certain items that you never really thought of before that is actually worth quite a bit of money. For example, some of the items at the end of a dungeon run, perhaps the minion drops, they can be worth quite a bit of money. Let's say you want to search for an item that is not in your inventory, you want to know the price of the item. There's this other plugin simply called the Marketboard. If you type in /PNB in the say chat, then you can bring up the entire Marketboard and search for anything you need, and all the information is once again from universalist.app. Next would be chat bubbles. After you install this plugin, anyone saying anything in the say chat, there will now be a speech bubble above their head like some NPCs as the picture is shown. And I can also show you if I type in something. I'll type in 1, 2, 3, and boom, at the top of my head you can see the little speech bubble. This can be extremely helpful, especially when you are at a big city, a lot of people are talking and you're not sure who's talking to who, then you're able to immediately know who is close to you that is talking to you. The next one on the list would be GatherBuddy. This is extremely useful if you are a gatherer in FF14, as if you bring up the GatherBuddy menu, it tells you the time of when a certain item is up and available and when it respawns, and you're also able to set up alarms to keep track of a node respawn, and sometimes some nodes can only be gathered under certain conditions, and this mod will tell you exactly the condition you need to wait for, or if the condition is currently available or not. So then you don't need to waste your time going over and then finding out there's nothing there, and then you leave and you have to wait a bunch of time and you have to research on the FF14 wiki to figure out what is happening, etc. Another good thing about this is basically you type in any item name and you click on the item, it will directly teleport you to the closest spot and mark it on the map and tell you where it is at exactly. However, there is one problem with this, is that sometimes when you are a miner looking for a node specifically for miner, but it directs you to your spot for botanist, so that's something to keep in mind of when you're using this plugin. So the next on the list will be the VFX Mods. Basically, it changes the visual effects of your abilities, your skills. Here I have Dragoon, Machinist, and Paladin, the VFX mods. So you can enable or disable this. I will quickly enable Dragoons and showcase some of the abilities. And if you are a Dragoon man, you will notice the difference immediately. And I also show a little bit of Machinist. So if you are a machinist man, you will notice the difference straight away. You will need to use the Penumbra mod. This is basically a mod for loading mods. You don't really want to use text tools. Text tool requires you to reload the game every time you add in something new, but with Penumbra you do not need to do that. You can change anything with the mods without relogging into the game. It's going to save you quite a bit of time. Next on the list will be the Glamourer mod. You are able to change yourself into anything you want, into any race with any type of glam, any type of weapons. So for example, I want to have the newest Omega Ultimate Raid weapon. I can do that. I just go to character equipment and select the ultimate Omega Fire, and you can see in my hand I have the weapon right now. Not only that, I can also change myself into my Lalafell form, or my Lalafell form with another glam, or I can change myself into a friend that I have saved. Of course, you can revert back to your original form. And lastly, which leads me to my next point, which is another mod called Mare Synchronos. This mod allows other players to see what you have changed with your own character, so they're able to see the modification you have made to your own character. They can see the weapons you're using, they can see the VFX mods you're using, and you basically send them a code and they send you back their code, and you just add each other and link up. I'll probably have to censor the code here so nobody sees my code. On top of having the Glamourer mod, you can add more mods on top of that, which can give you quite a unique look in the game that is normally not available. Like this cat girl right here in front of me, you can see is obviously not normally in the game. There are also certain other mods that, for example, can change your emotes to do different things. settings. And that is only just to name a few. There are many more that you can explore and download for yourself, and you can test it out. So now I'm going to go through all the other plugins that I'm currently using. So I'm just going to go through the list from the top. So Death Recap, this one can be really useful when you're progging new endgame content, because it tells you what killed you or what killed your party and the ability name that killed you, whatever the mechanic is. So this is really helpful for progging. Enemy list HP, so in the aggro list, it will tell you the percentage of the health of the boss. This can be helpful in certain prog or certain scenarios, like the Epic Alexander Ultimate. This can be useful at the beginning. Inventory search bar, so this one is if you bring up your inventory, press Ctrl and F, you're then able to look for a specific item. So let's say I'm looking for an item, there's so much stuff in the inventory, I'm not sure where it is exactly, and I just type in, oh, there you go, kick tray right there, I can find it. The next one would be item vendor location. So for certain items you don't know where to get, or that there is an actual NPC that sells the item that you can simply go to and you can quickly purchase them instead of buying it from the market board. So for example, for grade 8 dark matter, you can just right click on it and click on vendor location. It will tell you a list of place that sells this item, and it tells you what it requires. Any pincher, so this one allows you to automatically undercut the lowest price of an item by 1 gil, and all you gotta do is paste, use Ctrl V and paste the price when you're undercutting. So that makes it a little bit easier when you undercut. Repair me, so this is something to keep track of your gear durability. At the bottom, you can see here, I have that set up at the bottom right. It basically tells you when you need to repair. Right now it's 100%, so I don't need to repair. Something to notify you when your gear is broken, so you don't forget about it. Now I have an interesting one here, which is text to talk, which is TTS. So basically, if you're someone who struggles understanding the text, maybe you have dyslexia or something along those lines, then this can be extremely helpful. So you don't need to read it out. The game will basically read it out for you in like this robotic voice. Tidy chat. So this one is probably not as useful. You can probably filter most of the chat options already in the chat lock settings at the bottom. But one of the good use of this is you basically can block emote spam from other players, because sometimes people spam emotes without realizing they're clogging up the chat, and you can set it in a way that only emotes directed at you is shown in the say chat, and any other emotes are filtered out. So visibility, this one is quite a powerful tool. It has a void list which allows you to hide a player completely away from your game. So in the worst case scenario, you have someone stalking you, you can definitely put this to good use by adding them to the void list. Everything they do will be completely erased from the game for you as long as you have this plugin enabled. It's like a superior blacklist, and that is only to name a few that I've been personally using, and there's a whole list of these just by default in the plugin list that you can look up. And for mods like Glamourer, Penumbra, or Mare, you will need to add in the experimental section. You need to add in the GitHub link in order to download the mod, but that is kind of a video of its own to explain how to install the whole thing. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys found the video informative. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more future FF14 content. And if you're bored and you want to watch something, I'm usually live at around 7 p.m. UK time at twitch.tv/StingKnight. Usually later on in the week I'll be streaming. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.